Ito ang News TV Live. Nagsimula ng press conference ni Presumptive President Rodrigo Duterte sa Davao City. Panoorin natin ito.
A worker in government, I must impress upon you that mindset of mine na ako trabahante lang sa gobyerno and there's no reason to give too much adulation sa akin. I do not want that kind of rapport with the Filipino people. I would even discourage yung mga kulto-kulto na Duterte. It doesn't fit into my paradigm also in life. Sanay ako sa trabaho po. I've been with government for the best years of my life. About 2 years after graduation from the law school, taking the bar. And I've always been a servant of the people. And it's much abused cliche, servant. When as a matter of fact, you are a master. Yung iba, that is the reason why it's kind of phenomenon in the Philippines that when a person gets to be elected in public office, there seems to be a metamorphosis inside his mind. He now thinks that he occupies a special place in the sun and just start to change everything, pati ugali. Ako po, I've been a prosecutor for the most of the time in my life and becoming the mayor for 22 years, one time a congressman and one time vice mayor to my daughter. It's been a public service to be all the time. I'd like to downplay yung mga extra adulation, glorification. It does not, nakokornihan po ako at kung ipakita mo, I try to avoid. Kasi tumitindig yung balahibo ko. Nakokornihan ako. So that's why I just don't want it. Extra, Hindi ko type yan. Hindi ko type. Kayong mga media sa Davao, alam niyo yan. Mas mabuti pa para sa akin that nobody would, well anyway, it's impossible now, but noon, I would have preferred that nobody pays attention to my presence in the place. I hate it. Yung lahat halos magbaw-baw. Na mas nakukurnihan ako para bang, itong gago na to. Do not do that because this is a democracy. This is not a royalty. Nobody occupies a special place. Even if I'm your president, I would just consider me equal to you in terms of our rights and responsibilities under this republic. There's the Constitution. We are bound by it. We obey the laws. But there are things in this government which I had to do because I was the only one who could do it for us. And maybe sa presidency. It's not really a crisis, but it's an epidemic actually. Almost a pandemic sa Philippines. It's universal worry among local law enforcement and the law enforcement itself. And I was really happy to see last night that the PDEA came up with several raids to produce shabu. Ang tagal na niyan. I'd like to congratulate the PDEA head, si Kakdak, for the longest time that I saw PDEA do something about the drug crisis. I will control drugs. I will control crime. And I repeat, the predicate of it all of my statement is, I'm willing to lose the presidency, my life or honor. This is what I promise the people. I intend to do it. Yung wala namang if you have no time, if you really are doing nothing except to criticize, you might as well just write and stop messing up with me because I have this sacred promise to save the next generation from the evil of drugs. Yan ang priority ko. We work simultaneously with the economic managers of this country. I hope Sonny Dominguez would, he has had so many misgivings in the past about my offer, but I hope he would reconsider and accept it. He's going to get the finance department. Now, my classmate sa law school, who was really our valedictorian, Art Tugade, would get the DOTC. He's good. He has been connected with the Delgado brothers before. He was a working student. Aral kami. But he was already a big guy. He was our valedictorian. Then maybe you know, Alan is here. Where's Alan? Alan, dito ka na. No. You are my vice president. Wala pa ng proclamation. Mabuti nandito si Alan. I offered Alan both, hindi both, but either the Department of Foreign Affairs or the Justice Department. Ayaw ko kung anong preference niya because para kung yung departamento niya tatanggap ng he chooses one department, then the secretary of that department could be just acting secretary until 1 year. Ma-appoint ko siya as a permanent. Or he might opt to be just a member of the Senate, to which I would respect his choice. But pag ayaw niya, in acting capacity, nandito si Yasay. Where is he now? He was here, but Perfecto Yasay was my roommate sa law school kami. When he was in UP Padre Faura, I was studying at San Beda College. In the meantime, hindi ako sigurado talaga kay Alan, I'll just appoint an acting secretary if Yasay wants it in 1 year. Kasi sabi naman niya, he has a teaching commitment sa, he's a professor of law sa university, sa Hawaii. And he just came home to greet me. Ngayon, sabi ko kung if he can take an extra 1 year from his mag-furlough muna siya, take a sabbatical leave from his and just join, I would assign him sa Department of Foreign Affairs in acting capacity. Kasi sabi nga niya naman, in our short talk, I said he has this commitment of his teaching job in the United States. Ang ibibigay ko sa Communist Party of the Philippines, if they decide to join my government, open yung DAR, DNR, labor if they want. Kasi sabi na pinaka-oppressed ng yan. So they are the most vigilant group in the Philippines about labor. So they would get it. And DSWD. At marami pang iba. But those are the only departments I can concede to them. .4. Maganda na. And marami pa namang sabi nila. But, before I forget, yung lahat, except yung mga secretary, pati undersecretary, which they would really come with great credentials, by the way, and get it from the younger generation. Mga undersecretary, yung work course, I hope they would have how would you call it? Predilection for work sa government. I would offer them by way of allowances na lang because salaries are controlled so that I can bring in parity the pay of the private sector. I cannot hope to get talents pag ganon ang sweldo ng kababa ibigay. So, maybe I have to increase the emoluments by way of allowances na lang. Sa classmates or pareho ang years of service nila, including the age, nobody would get the edge. And so I said, you just talk between the three of you. Si Apolinario, si isa, De La Rosa, pati yung si Aspera. They're good. They have been my chiefs of police in the past, and I would say that was all were rendered sterling performances in the city of Davao. They are honest, they are not corrupt, and they follow orders. The number one sa police ngayon is integrity. For all of their chat-chat dyan about corruption, I've been a prosecutor for 10 years and mayor for 22 years. Awa ng Diyos, wala akong kung saan nilang kukuha yung kuha. Pati itong kuha minsan, you should not control the spending of the local governments as long as it is not corrupt. As long as the benefits or money goes to the people, I really won't mind. I really won't mind if you spend the whole 1 year appropriation for the people. Pagka dumating lang sa tao, okay na ako. I would not concern, but I would be strict down to the local governments, including the spending of the intelligence fund and discretionary fund. It doesn't be said that I see discretion and just throw the money left and right. I would, nandyan ang corruption and the contract sa local government. Nasa police, the assignment is integrity, honesty, and you must be passionately against drugs. If you are half-hearted or a lukewarm attitude to drugs, you better not apply. But before I forget, all applicants dito sa bureaus and government corporations must agree that their names will be published. And I'll give my staff a limit until about a certain, I don't know when, but it must be near now, then to publish, to cause the publication of the names, lahat, lalo na yung mag-apply ng mga dito sa government corporations. There are a lot of them. And again, I would stress that it goes to the best and the brightest. No political, huwag kayong maghingi ng endorsement sa senador or from anybody, congressman, governor. Pagka may attached na ano yan recommendation, automatically it is rejected. Just give me your resume and I will do the investigation if you are fit for the job. Ayaw kong yung magtawag. Remember, pag may magtawag sa akin na senador, congressman, governor, mayor, patay ka na. Patay ka na. I do not want that. Even sa army and police, do not go to me for promotion or assignment. There is the Board of Generals which I ordered last night to be reactivated. And it must be a vibrant. As long as there is no corruption, I will not overrule any recommendation there. So kayong gusto ng assignment, it must be on the merit. For those who want to be promoted, it should be on the merit. And that can be shown in the Board of Generals. Kung gusto mo ng assignment niyo, do not come to me. Every chief of police, city police director that found his way to work in Davao would know that. I hate yan tawagan. Ayaw ko yan kasi in all probability, hindi ka qualified. So you just leave it that way and the public shall, will be free to comment on your qualification and any derogatory. Pero kung wala naman, at saka valedictorian ka, well, of course. Pero hindi lahat valedictorian, Kasi sa buhay minsan, sabi ko, yung 45, yun yung maging presidente. Yung mga summa cum laude, Suman lang ang kaya. Totoo. But you have to be, well, love of country. If I can instill in you love of country, then I know that you'll work hard for the benefit of the people. Hindi ako nagpapakorne, sabi ko. That's the drill. That's the drill. You must be willing that your name be published in the newspaper. And do not get any recommendations or any push from anybody. I will decide on my own. Because after all, if anything goes wrong, if anything is not working, it is the president who will answer and have to bear the burden. Tapos baka type ninyo, ito. Lan, ikaw. Pahiya nun siya lang. Ay, ikaw na lang. Pwede naman, President Vice. Una. Yun na yun, pabalik-balik. I announced last night that I'm selling the Pangulo. That yacht there, it's parking somewhere, it's not being used. And to think that the people are hungry and jobless, it would be an obscene thing to see a Pangulo there. Pagbili ko yan, the proceeds will be solely devoted to refurbish. If the proceeds are good enough, I'll build new buildings for the military and the police. Bilihan ko sila ng CT scan and I will also raise the in parity. Pagka hindi tayo nakapag-tabla doon sa private sector, I do not mean to be mean to anybody or no offense intended. For as long as the pay between the government sector and private sector has this disparity, walang magtatrabaho sa gobyerno. And what you get are specialists. Kung wala sila, then we can send them to school or they can have the grants. And we can have the neurosurgeons and yung orthopedics. Yan ang ano dyan neuro-orthopathy surgeon. I'll build them a new building. And kung hindi kaya, kung ganun lang ang kikitain ko, I'll just refurbish the Veterans Memorial Hospital. I'll just bring it also in par with the other hospitals in Manila. Para baga naman kung mamatay ka, wala kang sisihin. One. The other one is I was talking to the prospective commanders. Sabi ko sa kanila, no follow-ups. You activate your board of generals. As long as there is no exceeding of authority or abuse of confidence, I will not interfere in the... Itong sa gobyerno, I have noticed that it's really pure junkets. Alam ko yan kasi I started from a special counsel, then being the 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd assistant city fiscal. Yung mga seminar would cost a lot of money. People going there to Manila. Hindi naman talaga yan it's pure junket. I tell you, it's pure junket. So, no more seminars that yung mga tao pupunta ng Maynila. Rather, we will have the seminars in the local venue, then let the lecturers come to Davao. So makamura ako niyan. And no more lakbay aral. Again, that's walang ginawa, gamitin ang pera ng barangay para pangmasyal. Being elected as barangay captain or a barangay kagawad does not give you the right to go around the Philippines. May isa pa dito, would you believe it, Hong Kong? Totoo. Tanungin mo yan si Labinya. Malapit ko itapon yung papel sa mukha. No? Butit na lang hindi ako si ano. Talagang I almost fell off my chair. Hongko, maglakbay aral. Ano, magkain ka ng pansit doon? Must be crazy. Wala na yan. Stop this business of... those are my thoughts, yung ano ko. Sinusulat ko lang yung the 1 week that I had a long... Kasi bumawi lang ako ng tulog. I need 8 hours sleep. Short of that, I'm not at my best element. Kaya, yung sabi nocturnal, it used to be that Davao was really very, very... so, I used to patrol at nights. Check on the police kung hindi natutulog sa istasyon. Kasi yung ginawa ng mga buang, yung lamisa dyan, ipagpatong dikit-dikit nila, tapos magdala ng unan, pati maglatag ng newspaper, matulog. So I was going around, but all they were also afraid to go out because of the assassins, itong left. We used to lose something like 3-4 policemen and soldiers a day. Kaya I had to, kasi pag hindi, papatayin talaga ng mga gago eh. So I had to be there just to let them know of my presence. Hindi naman nagyayabang, but we were there was a modus vivendi between us. Until now, ang police talaga hindi. The last time, nagalit talaga ako. I went to the mountain, yak-yak ako doon. Back them. That was about 3 weeks ago. Itong sa guns, I'd like to address myself to the constabulary, the PC. Itong Krami, rather. I will not allow the licensing of heavy firearms. It's just a shotgun or a 22 rifle and 1 short. Any caliber would do, as long as it is a short. Rifles, shotguns, and 22. Wala nang heavy firearms. Yung AK-47, M16, those already given the licenses, okay lang yan. But no permit to carry shall be issued to civilians dito sa long firearms. Short lang. And it must be under stringent conditions. Ayaw ko yung magbili ng mga almost an armory. Pag nanakaw yan, ibigay mo yan doon sa kabila. Several times it happened in our country. Itong NPA is a homegrown rebel group, and about the only time that I can remember na talagang galing sa labas, I will not now name the country because we are on friendly terms. Yung Karagatan, if you care to remember, this Karagatan, a small ship that was seized in Mindoro. Yun lang ang nalaman ko na pumasok ang armas dito na mga AK-47. Of recent memory, it was itong shipment ng AK-74. It's actually a Kalashnikov. You can use the American M16s. Magkaiba pa kasi yung configuration ng bullet. But this was really adapted. And a lot of them found to the hands of the NPA. I do not begrudge the NPAs for looking for arms. There's a war. But then again, as maybe God will say that I'd reach my oath-taking days, they have to realize that I am with government and I am the enemy also. But I offer my hand in peace to Season and to the rest, and we can talk. I've mentioned the positions that are available to you, and you can join, and several positions dyan sa mga bureaus, mga government corporations, provided you are qualified, provided you have the educational bearing to hack your job. then I would plead to Congress to restore death penalty. Heinous crime committed with unlicensed firearms must be death. Rape plus death ang sa victim must be death penalty. Kidnapping tapos with ransom, pinatay ninyo, must be death penalty. Robbery with homicide with rape, double the hanging. After you're hung first, then there will be another ceremony for the second time. Hanggang putol talaga yung completely severed yung ulo sa katawan. I would like that. Because I'm mad. The reason why nagmumura ako said because I was mad, but wag na ngayon. Alam mo, ang yumaman dito sa pagmumura ko, yung pares namin dito sa Davao. Every time I say PI o L, bayad ako ng the parish is also busy exacting tax from me. No different from the NPAs. Now, itong release of papers. Ang problema ito sa gobyerno nito is corruption. Pagdating doon ng applicant, or whatever, clearance or any document that needs government intervention, people are made to wait until they die. So this has to change. I do not want to see people queuing. Naglilinya. My proposal is in all government departmental institutions, I will see that yung mga clearances, dito sa Davao, gano'n. Clearance, electrical connections, business permit, 72 hours. After 72 hours, you are no longer allowed to release the documents or papers. You have to forward the papers to me, and I will ask you why it took you more than 3 days to process the papers. So that's, I'd like to have that followed all over the Philippines, a department, executive. I do not mind Congress. We have separate branches here, executive, judiciary, and legislative. Hindi ako pwedeng makialam sa kanila. So, gusto ko dito sa akin, Department, NEDA, it takes about 2-3 years. DDR, ganon, you know, akala ko babayad tayo sa tao. Saan yung, where are the computers that would make it fast? We've been acquiring computers to make our work easier, and here comes the delay for nothing. Ayaw lang ninyo magtrabaho, kaya ayaw ninyo magtrabaho, sabihin mo, maghanap ako ng iba. Departments, defense or whatever, 30 days. Signatures, NEDA takes about 47. 5 signatures. I do not give how you configure the signing authority in that office. If you are not willing to do it, let me know, because maraming Pilipino dyan sa labas nga naghanap ng trabaho. Anak ka ng, believe me, pati police, kayong mga police, those who are already contaminated, and you should know, and those who are into the business of pending cases, and even the generals, and they know who they are, resign or retire bago ako mag-record. Kasi I hate to name you publicly and to ask you to resign because you are yung may mga kaso, alis na ngayon. I do not care kung wala pang judgment. Get out. Pag hindi, I plan to invade Hulo sa yung layer ng Abu Sayyaf. Prepare now for combat duty there. Kayo ang utosan ko. At kung kayo ang hostage doon, say you're our fathers, because I will never pay any to retrieve you. Wala. Prangkahan tayo sa buhay na ito. Huwag na tayo. Never mind about yung human rights. Never mind about. Just them set aside first. They are there, so nandiyan na yan sila. Congressional investigation, okay lang yan. But then I would like to, sa dito si Alan, I would like to plead sa Congress to be more circumspect. I have once upon a time been a congressman, and I should know. Yung the way you treat the bureau directors, you treat the cabinet members before you treat the witnesses, pati mga police generals. Sigaw-sigawan ninyo. I will not allow it. I will not allow it. Look at Angie Reyes, a good general, spent most of his years serving our country. He was a valedictorian. And then this good thing ito, how much was it? 2 million that was being, talked about. It was being contested. Tapos itong si Reyes, in the heap of the garbage thrown at him, said, Your Honor, may I be allowed to talk just to save also my honor and dignity? What was the answer of Trillanes? No, shut up. You have no right to answer. You have no dignity. Huwag ninyong gawin yan sa mga generals. Kasi hindi talaga ako papayag. Especially if they represent me. Now, there will be a lot of investigations, insinuations and all, itong drive against criminality. Tumabi muna kayo and do not insult people just because you are there. Nothing is added to your privilege or right or to your mouth kung hindi ka talagang mayabang. Kang ina ka. You do not insult people. Just, who are you? Saan yan sa Constitution magsabi na the Congress will have the right to insult people and do not do that. Do not do that to the witnesses from the executive department. I will not allow it. Magbungguan tayo dyan. If you want the presence there, good. Be courteous to them. Be civil. If you start to bamboozle them and insult them and tell them, umuwi kayo. Do not appear there. And there will be a stalemate and you create a constitutional crisis. Then that would be the time that we'll have to decide what to do with this country. Mahirap yan. Dito sa Philippines, gano'n eh. What give you the right to just throw your insults at the person? Gano'n ninyo ako. Sirado kayo. Bili ako ng magandang lock dyan sa Binondo. Wag ganun. Kasi mahirap yan eh. So we have this mandatory, I will study. But I think departmental, especially yung crossing between departmental channels should be faster. So that's the secretary. The secretary should go to the secretary also. No delays. No delays. Intindihan na siguro. So prepare yung mga naglakbay aral ngayon. There was such abuse of people's money. Seminar. Biro mo padala ka doon ng 300, 400. Pagdating pagsibatan lang yan. Kagaya namin noon. Ako hindi ako kilig kasi ang sinasabi ng gago, mas alam ko. So when I start to hear lecturing on some na medyo mali pa, uwi na ako. Buang ito, walang alam. Bakit ito ang pinadala dito? At itong Civil Service Commission, pinadalahan pa naman ako ng subpoena kasi violation of ethics, puputang yan. Human Rights and the Civil Service Commission. You may disagree by what I say, but you have to defend my right to say it. That's freedom of expression. Those words come from Disraeli. Just because you have the laws there, you do not override the highest constitutional right of a person. If he wants to make a fool of himself, let him be. That is his constitutional right the highest law of the land. Never mind about ethics. Ethics, the standards ethics cannot override a constitutional provision of freedom of expressions and of speech. Note that. And human rights. Every time I make a gesture, explain. Sabi, walang alam. Walang alam. Study the Constitution because that governs everybody and anybody. Dito sa Civil Constitution, there will be a seminar, local, maybe one afternoon every week from one. You have to mend your ways, be courteous, be respectful to the public because they are the ones, the public is paying for your salary. Dito kasi supladuhan. Kaya there's a metamorphosis that changes the mind of a person if he joins government. Lalo na itong malalaking position. Akala mo sino na? For example, this one mayor sa Metro Manila. Hindi lang siya nakilala ng mga waiter sa kasi KFC o Jollibee. Sinirahan niya yung if I were the president at the time, tapos marinig yun, I suspend you. Was the charge? Oppression. Why? Insecurity. Kung hindi ka lang makalam ng tao, ba't masuspend yung... Who are you to be recognized in a way? For all you know, yung tao, yung salary niya noon at source and taxation, she pays for your salary. So why do you take offense if he doesn't know you? And who are you to be known also? Especially if you are into graft and corruption. With more reason nga dapat hindi ka talaga batiin eh. It's the metamorphosis that goes around the mind of people in government. You shape up. You shape up. Do it, be courteous to everybody. Baski wala kang ngipin. Try to save some money para sa pustiso. You smile. Do not be ashamed to smile because wala kang ngipin. Magpadagay ka ng pustiso, tumawa ka. Para nga, that's the only language that, you know. Alam mo kasi, pag sabi-sabi ko lang, ngayon, I ask you with sincerity. Kaya nilalagyan ko ng color of, hindi naman insult, but yeah, sabi ko, maski pangag ka, you smile. Wala kang ngipin, well, save enough money to have your smile. Be courteous. Ninagdagan ko yan ng medyo pa-slide na insulto, but that's it. Wala tayong magawa. Now, itong the reason why there is a flooding and proliferation of drugs is because of the inutility of the barangay captains. It should start from there. Sila yung nakakilala ng mga tao. Na ngayon, pag hindi ako satisfied sa drive ng drugs because I will issue the guidelines, the war against drug must start in the barangay level. I will give you, hindi na ako bibigay sa ng mga tanod. Kung anong ginawa yung hindi mag-inom, mag-abuso. I will recruit people, ISKA, parang yung CHDF sa police. Only those who have completed ROTC at my neuro because pahawakan ko ng baril. Those already ex-soldiers or have retired because the family doesn't. Yun yan sila who has had at least the barest minimum of gun handling and law enforcement. But there will be classes for them. But they will be under the supervision of the barangay captain para hindi matakot. But administratively, they have to report to the precinct commander or station commander of the area where they are assigned. I will buy, kasi takot eh. Ang madurugista talaga may baril. If you, I am sure if you dig deep into sa kultura ng drugs, all of them, may mga baril yan. Because you know, as you know very well, that phenomenon starts with yung ang tawag nito, they're scared, they think that somebody is following them. That's why they try to burn their mother because she was the devil, and patayin yung grandfather, tatay, kasi akala niya demonyo. Diyan ako galit sa drugs because during our time, wala namang nire-rape na bata. It's a very cruel word, yung drugs. Galit ako sa mga drug lords na hindi nga naman sila talaga addict. They just seek out to convert people from one of a responsible citizen or a young man studying or a young woman, and then they destroy the lives. And I have said, frankly, nandito naman kayong lahat, even the international press, those who destroy the lives of our children will be destroyed. Those who would kill my country will be killed. Simple as that. No middle ground, no apologies, no excuses. And again, I refer to my predicate of my state, my presence here. I'm ready to lose the presidency. I can lose them anytime. I can lose it anytime. I will stake my honor and my life. And after that, good riddance tayong lahat. Basta gawin ko. Sinabi ko, gawin ko. Hindi ko dapat sabi, but dito sa Davao, pag sinabi ko, gagawin ko talon. Hayaan mo, mabaya na ka. Wag ko ang mag-ask ka. Nagababay ka sa akin o gusto mo na magtanong? Okay. Give me, it's now 3 o'clock, give me until 6 o'clock, then I can... tapusin ko lang ito. Ma'am, ano lang naman to? Actually, ma'am, nagkalagnat na ko. You know why? Because my defenses were down, actually. You're not talking to a young man. Ang immune system ko talagang bumaba at I was carrying the bacteria ng bronchial. And nasuspect ako tuloy ng pneumonia. Kaya from 2 days, sabi nando, take off some more few days, a few more days to recover. So nag-x-ray ako, medyo okay na. Curfew for minors, mandatory. The thing is, police should not arrest minors because they are not supposed to be arrested. They do not have the discernment of what they are doing out there. Arrest the parents instead. The barangay captain should direct the police where the parents live and arrest them. Pag hindi ninyo ito kaya, din sabihin ko sa barangay captain, be ready to face charges of neglect of duties or simply you are not working, in which case I will suspend you if there is a charge. Wala tayong pakiusapan dyan. These are my supporters and the supporters of the other side. No in between. They should be legally held responsible. Marami yan dyan. Sa Child and Welfare Code dito sa Davao, revised penal code, abandonment of minors, putting the life of minors in jeopardy. Meron yan. I'm sure I can hold you, detain you even for so many hours. Itong drunk driving, marami kasi wala akong nakita na tao na pumunta sa prisuhan because of accident. Ang Pilipino kasi, ang ano natin is aksidente yan eh. Even actually, it is not really an accident, but sometimes a criminal act. When you drive and you drink, you drive, you know that you will kill a person. That moment when you are behind the wheels and start the engine, and you are dead drunk or drunk, there are stages of drunkenness. There's a joko stage. Yung pabiro, jokos. Then there is the biloko stage. Yung maghanap na ng away. Makatingin lang yung tao, anong gusto? That's the bilokos, belligerent. Then you have the lacrimonious stage. Melancholia. Ako siya niyan, uwi na tayo, ako mag-drive para makapatay ito, kasagasa tayo ng 5. Lalo na yung mga media dyan na pukuros-kuros na hindi nagatingin. Pero hay ka, nakaharap yung media sa kotse niya. Then you have the comatose stage. Yung hindi na talaga, yun, dapat yung ganong comatose, tuloy-tuloy na yun. When you're so dead drunk, your brain is out of function, and you are really dead drunk. And that's what it called comatose stage. And for those who are into that state, I hope it would continue for all time. Yun. So, I will now make a recommendation to Congress to take it out from the probation law. Kasi dito, pag nakasagasa ka ganon, and the sentence is below 6 years, you do not go to prison. You simply, Judge, guilty ako but I'd like to apply for probation. Then you report to the probation officer. That is not good enough. Pero yung iba kasi, it's almost insanity now that rules the highways. Basta, kaya dito, tignan mo, sa Davao, I imposed 60 kilometers per hour. May nakita ka bang cross? Well, meron, pero hindi kayo noon na sa isang stretch, taglima ang cross. Dito, tapos sa ibang barangay, mayroon namang cross. Anak ka. Kasi, basta pag nandyan na, drive, lalo na lasing, hirit yan, narurot, dyan sa EDSA. Alam mo itong managed people, especially because sports car, mga soup up yan, they tinker with the engines. And they think that they own the streets, public. Forget the idiot forgetting that that road is for all because ang gumastos dyan ang tao. Hindi yung tatay pati nanay niya na mayaman. See? Ganon dito eh. Ngayon dito yung mga mayaman dito, sabi ko, pag nahuli ko kayo, huhubaran ko kayo dyan sa highway, tawagin ko yung mga media. I will strip you naked. You want to file charges against me? Fine. Go ahead. Nanay niyo magdemanda. Sige. Pero, mga abusado eh. Kita mo yan sa puro sports car. Wrong! If you happen to cross the street at that moment, you're a gunner. 80, 90 miles per hour, hindi na ma-break yan. 60, kaya pa. Controlled. So EDSA will be 60. Bayan that habulan tayo. Pag hindi inabol ng polis, nakita ko sa camera, ang polis ang abulin ko. Nakampulisa ka. Totoo. Ano tayo, we make it equally responsible to each other and to your fellow men. Police, trabaho ka. Yan ang trabaho mo. Tapos dito, sige, hulihin ka. Prangkahan tayo para walang istorya na maraming. I run it like a city because I am just a city mayor, but it applies to all. Gaya ng basa na. Kagaya ng itong bayad my way. Diyan sa kanto, maghulog ka lang ng ilan dyan, then you disturb the neighborhood. And it makes a city, noise pollution can be abated anytime because it is a nuisance. The kapitan or the mayor or governor and the police can stop it immediately. No need for a court order because that is a nuisance which can be summarily stopped. Alas 10, yung open dyan sa kanto-kanto. Let me illustrate to you the life of the Filipino. Listen very carefully. Filipinos? Okay. Itong asawa nito, work, sales girl, whatever. She stays most of her life sa dyan sa squatters area. Ngayon, dimulis ng dibulis na papalayo sila. She wake up 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. She prepares the food, yung mga bata ayusin niya yung mga damit, then this is of the children, send them out to school. Then she takes care of herself. Siya, magbihis, tatakbo yan. 2 rides, 3 rides minsan. Tricycle, then jeep, then MRT kung mahabol niya. Sometimes it's about 2 kilometers. But the next is she makes it earlier. She goes around at 3 o'clock, sabi niya mga bata, lumabas na lang kayo, puto kayo ng eskwelahan, kasi alis na ako. Then she works. Whole day standing there. Then at 5 o'clock, she goes out. Hindi pa yan kasi magbandi clock pa yan, then she comes out there 5:30, 6 o'clock. Pupunta na naman siya 2 rides, 1 ride. Punta doon sa MRT. She waits for the train, which never comes at times. So pagdating doon, mag-jeep siya. She arrives home 11, 12. Then she cooks food for the next morning, labahan niya yung mga damit, yung mga bata. Tapos balik siya sa trabaho. Ganon ang buhay ng Pilipino. 90% ng ating tao. So at 7, at 10 o'clock, you stop that fucking thing. Let the children sleep in the neighborhood. Yeah. Katulad. Huwag mong pahirapan ang Pilipino. Masyadong hirap na. Those are the things that I want to correct right at the beginning. Huwag mo akong tanungin na infrastructure. Tanungin mo si Tugade or si... Ako po'y abogado. Kaya itong Makati Business Club, sabihin mo sa kanila, sabi ni Duterte, graduate siya ng AB Foreign Affairs, geopolitics, international law, international relations, international trade. Baka hindi alam ng mga ulol. Abogado ako, prosecutor ako. Ang pag-usapan namin criminal law, I give them about 5 days of lecture about criminal law, pati computation sa kanilang penalties kung mag-abot sila doon for fraud. Tapos do not, you invite me, but do not expect to, sinabi ko lang that I will get the best economic minds. Hindi ako economic, hindi naman ako graduate ng sabi ko ano yun, 75 lang ako dyan sa economics. Hindi naman ako interesado niyang graph na dyan, hihilo ako yung sunod-sunod ng ayun gano'n. So, do not be too cynic about your officials because in the first place, I never pretended to be one. Nag-graduate ako. I never pretended to have presidensya summa cum laude. I was never even 75 lang hanggang now if you give me 75 for my performance today, fine. But hanggang dyan lang ako. Ano magawa ko? Alam mo kasi itong mga elitista minsan sumusubra. Kala mo naman sino ang mga ulol. Eh, kayo unang nag-insulto eh. So, let us see what happens next. Ngayon, kinukuha ko si Carlos Dominguez, kababata ako yan. Dito kami lumaki, itong subdivision na ito dito. He was my childhood friend. He was our valedictorian. Kindergarten valedictorian up to, I think ano yan siya? Ako 75 lang. Hanggang pag-graduate ng College of Law. Pero trabahante ko sila ngayon. Arto Gade, was a valedictorian sa College of Law sa San Beda. Ako 75 lang. Pero sabi ko, Likang, trabaho ka dito sa akin. Trabaho ka? Oh, ganun lang ang buhay. So, kayo dyan sa dahan-dahan lang. Ano pa naman buhay? Weather lang, tama talaga sa Now drinking, no drinking in all public places and even alleys. Ito yung magpunta ako ng Tondo, nakita ko na do not do that. If you do not have a house, then do not drink in pub. Do not make it as a substitute of a place for drinking. All. And the police must arrest all drinking people in public. Alcoholic ang ibig sabihin. Do not occupy streets. Kagaya dito minsan yung highway patrol. He not only drinks, naghumihingi pa doon sa kapitbahay niya. Drinking must stop in all public places, lalo na mga plaza. Itong sa the transacting public, if he applies, let me go back. Bigyan mo siya ng shopping list. The requirements, to i-produce mo. That list is final. Huwag mong dagdagan, huwag mong kunan. Huwag mong pabalik-balikin ang tao at sinabi, ito pala kulang pa ito. Give him or her exactly what is needed. And pag na-submit na yan, that is it. Bigyan mo ng stub, plastic or whatever. That's, para hindi masira. Then pag-apply niya, the government employee receiving the papers, wherever, pati Malacanang, pirmahan niya yung date. Kanyang date. Received from Mr. Blanc Mona the following papers for application. 1, 2, 3, 1. He has been, lahat ng kailangan niya binigay na. Papirmahin mo yung tao. Then pumunta ka sa computer mo, take a look in a GP, the workload of your office. Then you would know to give an estimate of how many days the office need to do its job. Remo, come back on this date in the afternoon at 3:30 and you will have your papers. Period. Nakaintindihan tayo niyan, ladies and gentlemen in the government service. Yan. Walang exception, walang extension. Now, kung meron man at mag-complain, diretso yan sa ombudsman or to me. Then I will order the investigation and I would act upon myself if I can meet you something like a suspension or dismissal, I will do it. Wala ako maraming, alam mo kasi kung bakit. Maraming sa labas na kailangan ng trabaho. Bakit ako magtiis sa inyo? Why would I endure attacks tapos sa incompetence pati sa katurpihan ninyo? I would not. Why would I suffer? Tayo ang dapat managot sa sarili niyo. Crazy for me to be absorbing all the attacks there. Tayo. The Commission on Civil Service should be able to come up with it's a constitutional body. So I can only request that they conduct seminars and things like that. For dito, punctuality, not only in attendance, but punctuality in the release and action on the papers of the public. Mas mabuti pag i-delay mo yung multimillionaires application, wag yung yung mahirap. Kaya mga milyonaryo, pwede sila magbalik-balik eh. The billionaires can always send somebody. Pero itong Pilipino, pabalik-balik siya. Now, I will create an office, Department of Overseas Workers. I'm getting a building, tingin ko yung post office, pero historical kasi yung post office. Para Manila, wala naman na gumagamit ng post office ngayon. Yaman ako na, Dear Elsa, medyo biyudo na ako ngayon na hindi naman, pwede pa ba tayong magkita kung may panahon ka? Text lang naman nga. Love you. Love you too. Maski na illegal. Love you. I love you too. So, I plan to convert it to something very functional, very useful to the Filipino. Gusto ko yung government, yung public, applying for overseas. Huwag ninyong pabalik-balikin. Gusto ko yung Department of Foreign Affairs, yung health services, yung mga clearances sa police, doon na. Gamitin ninyo yung computer na yan. Akala ko, karami ko ng computer. Yumama na lang yung mga computer na tindahan dyan. Incompetent pa rin kayo. Gamitin nyo. Gusto siya NBI? Ayan, NBI. Diyan, may section dyan. Computer. Ikaroon mo lang sa opisina mo central. Wala. Sige. Wala na seremonya. Police. Justice Department. Yan. Tapos, apply na siya. Lahat ng recruiters, I will create a special unit, maybe the CIS. Lahat ng illegal recruiters, hindi na kailangan may biktima pa. I will order the arrest of all recruiters operating without the proper permit. And I would know if I see one. I could smell a rat a mile away. Huli na kayo. Wag, hindi ko na hintayin. Kagaya ng mga kidnapper, hold-upper, hindi na maghintay na may biktima kayo. I will do what you do to the others. Yan ang warning ko, ha? Gagawin ko sa iyo ano yung ginagawa mo sa kapwa mo tao. Period. Mga sa estudyante, time and again, this has been the warning, it's never complied. No collections of ever kind. Walang collection. Pag wala kayong pamparte, then there is no party. And any dress would do in public. No more uniforms. Itong K-12, ayaw ko to, but after it was explained to me by an education expert, I kind of really wavered on it. Nag-vacillate ako dito, but let me come up with a clear decision on the matter. Maybe sometime before, give me until the end of the month. I want to talk to the new prospective Secretary of Education. Itong hingi-hingi, that's extortion. It is extortion or illegal exaction. Yung mga taxi, both dito sa Davao pati sa Maynila. Alam mo, pag kinuha mo yung pera ng tao kasi wala kang sinsilyo at hindi mo talaga binalik, that is estafa. It is not a simple violation. Kasi sinabi ko sa mga driver dito, it is not your money and you go away with it. Ayaw mong kambiyan, sabi mo wala kang sinsilyo, huwag ka mag-drive. So it behooves upon the taxi company now to provide the drivers with loose changes at the start of the day. Ganon. And I would like to ask also the riding public, para hindi kayo mabiktima, to try to estimate how much you'd pay for your fare. Kasi minsan bigyan mo ng 100, itatakbo ng gago, wala siyang no loose change. Try to figure out the amount that you have to pay to reach your destination. Pati itong mga taxi driver, you must have loose changes at all times. Pagka wala na, pumara ka, pumunta ka doon sa tindahan, saan yung suki mo, then you have it converted to coins and smaller denominations. Those are my thoughts while I was recuperating. And itong isang babae, hindi na mapigilan ang kamay. Gusto na itaas. Pakihila nga ng kamay niya. papuntang itaas. Where is she? Ay, okay. Ma'am, may I have your first question? And the last for the day. Hapon na eh. Hindi, biro lang. Lambing lang yun, ma'am. Nung kumaniwala dyan. No. I never set any deadlines. Itong Mindanao issue, itong federalism, the Mindanao issue hinges on our success or failure sa federal system. Nothing short of nothing will ever appease the Moro people sa Mindanao kung hindi. Because failed yung Tripoli Agreement, yung kay Normi Suare, then the then you have the specificity of President, it all failed. Gusto talaga nila ngayon, federalism. We have to give it if we want to have a peaceful Mindanao and eventually a peaceful country. Nothing short of that will bring peace to our land. So, yung Abu Sayyaf is connected with the Mindanao issue. It drove most of the young men to this desperation and being radicalized. Now, ayaw ko yan silang makontaminate ng ISIS. So in the meantime, I'll just have to cooperate with them that they must know the consequences of their acts. When the time comes, when it is the right time, I would make it clear to every negotiating body that it does not include condemnation. Not condemnation. It does not, the position is not really condemnation, but nation building. But for those who committed serious crimes, they must answer for it. There will be a time to reckon with that I would ask everybody there to surrender and release all hostages. But it will not come until we have started the talks in Mindanao. Kasi ang karamihan yan, galing rin sa MI pati MN. Those are the arms that were in the hands of people or that were, the situation drove them into radicalization. Wala nang makita ito. Kung gano'n na lang man, di sige, yung gusto niya. So damay lahat. But criminality, ito kasing sa Abu Sayyaf, it is bad enough to kidnap people, but to kill them in public execution, talaga ito, but it does not include dito sa criminality. Drugs, criminality, then I'll fix government, corruption, at the same time allow the economic managers to work, and I will follow, if it is really for the good of the country, every recommendation that they would have. Yan ang akin. So itong Abu Sayyaf takes time. But at sometime in the future, we just have to talk about real issues. But I would like to stress now that normal police operations will continue. An aggressive police presence will continue. And the armed forces will be called to assist. Philippine Navy, Marines and all. And even in the drive against criminality, the military will have to do its share. Now, I will answer for those that are committed in the performance of duty. I, as the President, will be assuming full legal responsibility. I only ask that the other constitutional bodies, I said, give us the little respect that we deserve. Huwag naman yung pabalabag na istorya kasi wala ako, I can take it, I said. Before I forget, I would like to know from anybody in the executive department of the past administration why we lost the Scarborough Shoal. I can take all the insults and mud and garbage. That is part of the territory of politics. Pero itong mga ganito na mawalaan tayo ng lupa, or at least whatever is under the water is lupa. It belongs to our economic zone. Why is it now that if it is an exclusive economic zone, we can no longer operate in that area? Then ang mga fishermen natin are deprived. If it's really an exclusive, so somebody should tell me in the coming days how we lost the Scarborough Shoal. No, Trillanes went there 16 times. After the 16th visit, nawala ang Scarborough Shoal. Somebody has to answer for all of these things. Means the livelihood, food security of the Filipino people. And to me, it's treason. Yes, Pea, ay lumiliit na yung kamay mo sa hands up. Sige, bertikan mo na lang si CNN. Dito ka, tandaan na itong boyfriend mo. Liga dito ka. Make it fast. The ambassador of Japan is waiting for me downstairs. Dito ka, ibulong mo na lang, halika. Executive, DILG, not yet. Executive Secretary, I think it's si Midaldia Bingbong. He's acceptable to all. He's the son of, his father used to be the provincial fiscal dito noon. About the time when my father was governor of this place. Then he went to be a justice of the Supreme Court. Anak ito siya. But he's good. He's good. Siya ang executive secretary. I would like to talk to Yasai. He said that he's only good for less than 1 year. So if that is the case, anyway, Alan might want it for himself, yung position na yan. Kung magtanggap siya na less than a year, acting secretary, I did not submit maybe his appointment to the commission appointments. I think I'll take him in. Ang sigurado dyan, si Bingbong, executive secretary, Panelo will handle the Malacanang press, and his designation is presidential spokesman. Then you have Tugadi, you have Sunny Dominguez, and Yasay Dominguez and Tugadi. I'm still awaiting for somebody to handle defense. Nandito. Gilbert Teodoro is coming in. I'll talk to him later. Sugot siya. The Secretary of Education is Peter Laurel, yung presidente ng Lyceum. Peter Laurel. Jess Doresa would handle the peace process, presidential, together with Bebot Belio. Belio would handle the communist side. Doresa will handle if he wants. Kung gusto lang niya, the president, yung pwesto niya dati kay Arroyo. I need young men, but I need men of expertise and wisdom. Yung fingertips nila yung problema. But I will create a commission right away. Mix Moro and Lumans and Christians. They will be the ones to explain the need to have a federal system. And lecturers, expert about federal system. After that, I will call for a constitutional convention, and I will ask the Filipino people about the need to have a federal system to save the country. If you have another bright idea, fine, I'd listen to you. Yes, it should be not later than 2 years. We will submit the issue for a plebiscite or a referendum. Hindi naman dali lang mag-frame ng actually, it's not in the framing of the words. It is in the matter of implementation and obeying what we have agreed on. And that is for everybody, the Christians, the Moro, and the Lumad.
What about President
Well, let me see, I said. I still have to talk to the guy. I have always considered women in my life. Shut up. No, I'm not so particular about security because I can take care of myself. I do not even want them there or around my house. Kaya ako nag-iinit yung, hindi ako maksibat talaga. Hindi, alam mo na, kagaya ko. You have your, meron rin ako. Kasi kung sunod sa malaman na tuloy ng mga buwak. Kaya yung isang gabi talagang, pati si Inday Sara, I went to the house of my first wife. Abutan ko that she was in tantrum, si Inday Sara, kasi galit siya doon sa mga task force na nag-standby sa harap ng bahay niya. Pinaalis niya, tumago lang ng isang kanto. With more reason, pinainit nila yung ali, wala. Ako rin. So pagbaba ko, may police, may gusto mo, priso. Si El Chapo ka, kung ganun. Drug, ano, lalo mo. Naman ako si El Chapo. Do you have to? I need it. I need it to combat crime and to deter. No? Nga ba sabi mo, patay ka tapos isipin mo, talagang yung nandyan na, okay na lang yan. Patandain natin sila. So you die there, sleep there, Mona Lisa. You die there. Again, hindi ko nakuha mo. First 100 days, what do you mean, 100,000 killed? No, I will just do exactly what I promised. I am there to control or suppress crime. You cannot prevent all crimes because usually concubinage and adultery are committed in secret, in sub rosa. Those are crimes under the revised penal code which you can hardly stop. Kaya magsabi nila 100% impossible. Talagang imposible. There are crimes which you cannot control. Si ma'am, nakahiya naman sa iyo, ma'am. Mapapatampuhin talaga itong babaeng to. Ikaw, ito yung tigira, ito ng inquiry. Sige na. If we begin the talks, I'm satisfied that we are dealing in good faith. I will call it Ross and maybe consider releasing all political prisoners as part of the confidence building. Gusto ko si Dilima bumalik. Wala pa. Wala pa akong depende sa ay ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are sorry about the lack of time to respond to all your questions.
I have with us here now is si Ma'am Villar, Senator Villar. Coco, si Speaker ang idol ko, ang amo ko. Another Speaker in the offing. Another Villar.
We are now proceeding with the signing of the Coalition for Change Agreement between the PDP Laban and the Nationalista Party. Please give way. Baba muna tayo lahat. We'll just proceed with this signing, and the Mayor needs to attend to a lot of well-wishers. So we are really sorry that for lack of time, we cannot answer any questions.
We can resume after. I have to attend to the diplomatic duties first. Nandito yung tatlong ambassador. After that, we can go as far as mga 4 o'clock in the morning. Sige mo.
At yan po ang naging press conference ni Presumptive President Rodrigo Duterte sa Davao City. Inilahad ni Duterte ang ilan sa kanyang mga plano, oras na maupo sa pwesto. Ayon sa kanya, misyon daw niyang isalba ang susunod na henerasyon mula sa kasamaan ng iligal na droga. At dapat sa barangay level daw magsimula ang paglaban sa droga. Tinalakay rin ni Duterte ang mga posible niyang italaga sa gabinete. Anya, inalok daw niya sa Department of Foreign Affairs o Department of Justice ang kanyang running mate na si Senador Alan Peter Cayetano. Inalok naman niya ang Department of Finance sa negosyanteng si Carlos Sonny Dominguez, ang DOTC sa kanyang law school classmate na si Art Tugade at ang Department of Education kay Peter Laurel. Posible naman daw ibigay sa Communist Party of the Philippines ang DAR, DENR, DOLE at DSWD. Makikipagpulong din si Duterte kay dating Defense Secretary Gilbert Teodoro. Pagdating sa kapulisan, integridad ang numero 1 raw niyang pamantayan. Ang mga nais namang magkaroon ng pwesto sa gobyerno o gustong ma-promote sa trabaho sa gobyerno, husgahan daw batay sa merito ng kanilang performance. Samantala, ibebenta raw ni Duterte ang presidential yacht at ang kikitain daw dito ay mapupunta sa medical building ng AFP at PNP. Ang mga seminar naman daw na isinasagawa sa Metro Manila hindi na raw itutuloy dahil magastos. Gawin na lamang daw ito sa mga local venue para mas makatipid. Hindi rin daw papayagan ni Duterte ang pagbibigay ng lisensya sa matataas na kalibre ng baril sa mga sibilyan. Bukod dito, aapela raw si Duterte sa Kongreso na ibalik ang parusang death penalty para sa mga heinous crimes, gayon din ang pagbibigay ng tamang respeto sa mga miyembro ng ehekutibo na pinadadalo sa mga legislative inquiry. Gagawin naman daw mandatory ang curfew para sa mga menor de edad. Oras na mahuli sa labas ng curfew ang menor de edad, ang mga magulang nito ang pananagutin at aarestuhin. Pahihigpitan din daw ang batas kontra drunk driving at plano ring gawing 60 kilometers per hour ang speed limit sa EDSA. Balak din daw ni Duterte na matigil ang noise pollution pagsapit ng alas 10 ng gabi, tulad na lamang daw ng pagvideoke para makapagpahinga ang mga tao. Ipagbabawal din daw ang pag-inom ng mga nakalalasing na inumin sa mga kalsada at pampublikong lugar. Bubuo rin daw ng Department of Overseas Workers. Ang mga illegal recruiter naman daw aarestuhin. Pagdating naman sa mga public school, ipagbabawal ang anumang koleksyon mula sa mga estudyante. At sa problema naman sa Mindanao, muli iginiit ni Duterte na federalism ang sagot. Nais din daw malaman ni Duterte kung bakit at paanong nawala sa Pilipinas ang Scarborough Shoal.